Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about using Quota in oVirt 3.1 user portal, the extended version. If you have followed our previous videos, you might remember that on the web admin we have defined a new quota called Quota C, which holds about 1 GB of memory and about 10 GB of disk space on 2 different storage domains. And the consumers for that quota are the Q students list. Now, before I'm going back to the user portal, I'll go to the data center and edit the quota mode. I'm going to change the quota mode from audit to enforced, and this is in order to see all of the pop-up errors and be blocked by the system. Let's go back to the user portal. As you can see, I already logged in as Q student, which is a member of the Q students list, so I should see Quota C, and here it is. Now when Quota is enforced in the data center, I have to select a quota every time I create a new VM. So let's select Quota C, it's the only one we have, and we call this VM temp1, and we're going to give it 1 GB of memory, and let's click OK. Okay, our VM is up. Let's create a second VM, again on Quota C. Let's call it temp2, and again let's give it 1 GB of memory. Now you might wonder if that's possible, because as you remember, we only have 1 GB of memory available for us on our quota, and this is actually possible because the runtime quota is only consumed when we actually run the machines. So creating 2 machines which use 2 GB of memory when we only have 1 GB of memory on our quota is actually possible. Let's go ahead and add disks to this machine. Click the add button, and let's try and add a 30 GB disk on the first machine. And again, I'm using Quota C. This time I'm using the storage part of the quota. Let's click the OK button. Okay, and I'm getting this error message telling me that I cannot add a virtual machine disk because the quota has no sufficient storage resources. And this is actually true. As you remember, we only have 10 GB on 2 storage domain, so it's not possible to create a 30 GB disk. Let's try and create an 11 GB disk again, and now we are permitted to create this disk. And the reason we are permitted to create this 11 GB disk on the 10 GB of quota is because of the gray zone, which actually allows us to over exceed the base quota. Okay, let's go ahead and add a disk to temp2. I'm gonna be 5 GB disk this time on D2. Click the OK, and we've got disk on both machines. Let's go ahead and run temp1, and now let's go ahead and try and run temp2. And as you can see, we're getting this error message which tells us that temp2 cannot run because the quota has no sufficient cluster resources, which is actually true because the quota only have 1 GB of memory already consumed by temp1, so we have no more memory. Let's stop temp1 and try to run temp2 again, and now temp2 is running. Okay, that's all for today. If you want to learn more about oVirt, visit us at www.ovirt.org. If you have any further questions, you can mail us at users@ovirt.org. Thank you for watching.